I can't stay quiet about SoFi stock anymore. Horrible title. I know, we're all tired of it. I know. So let's start again. Hey everyone, and welcome back to another video. So let's talk a little bit about SoFi, more specifically some comments or one big comment that was made by Anthony Noto, the CEO. In the last couple of weeks, you've probably seen or heard all the noise around SoFi stock, SoFi and Robinhood, SoFi and crypto, tariffs, interest rates, etc., etc. Now, we started the year quite well. SoFi stock went up a lot. Everybody was happy. But then the stock went down, but the business continued to do well and everybody's unhappy, right? Might be the fault of some people that have super high, unrealistic expectations. SoFi to 50, SoFi to 45, short squeeze, etc., etc. Yes, we're talking again about that same person because I do want to touch on a specific thing that he posted on X, which I already replied to him, and we had a small discussion on X about the whole Robinhood story here, because in my eyes it's wrong and some inaccuracies there as well. So let's discuss all of that in this video. Hit all the buttons, we really appreciate that. A couple of weeks from now we actually have the upcoming earnings report, so yeah, some predictions will be made in the upcoming weeks about SoFi's upcoming earnings report. So make sure you're subscribed, hit that subscribe button. We're trying to reach 90,000 subscribers, so I can buy a real velvet couch, you know. Anyways, hit all the buttons, would really appreciate that. If you want to support me even further, do check out the link down in the description and in the pinned comment with the top 10 best stocks to buy now, or go to fool.com/couchinvestor. Thank you very much. All right, so SoFi at the moment is at $11.91. It has a market cap of $12.75 billion. Like I said, at one point we were up 27.6% year to date. Now we're actually down closer to 16% year to date. In the trailing 12 months, we are still up above 60%. So when in doubt, look at what has happened in the last couple of months. I mean, the last 6 months, we're still up 52.5%. But yes, the last couple of weeks, we have been underperforming. Now, a couple of days ago, someone on X posted this: Noto interacts way more than y'all think, and if he doesn't, he definitely sees everything y'all post. More motivation for SoFi team, baby. Keep bringing it. The best is yet to come. The show goes on. Here you can see Anthony Noto basically liking this post about SoFi haters. Oh my God, the stock hasn't done anything lately, so it's a great time to sell and buy Robinhood stock because they can deliver me cash to my door. I already made a video about that. You can watch it in the top right corner. So Anthony Noto here wrote, I think it's the first time he actually writes such a quite long post, but it's a good one. He says, rest assured, I see and read every word about our company, our team, and me. It takes great restraint not to reply and correct the massive disconnect by some between what is critical to do and when to do it versus what is not critical to do. Again, it's all about priorities. They've been talking about that before. I know some retail investors really want option level 1, but let's be honest, who cares, right? Who cares? If it was really something that the majority of SoFi members wanted, then they would have added that. But I think that the loan platform business was a pretty big addition to the whole SoFi ecosystem, and that's something that's going to help the overall business way more than just adding an options level 1 feature or even crypto. Crypto will eventually come back to SoFi, but in the meantime, they've got bigger fish to fry. More on the crypto part later. So he continues here, it also takes restraint not to react impulsively to defend my team from what I perceive as unfair and unjust treatment. I am responsible for whatever does or doesn't happen, period. No excuses. Don't get me wrong. I want everything done yesterday, and no one is pushing harder to move faster and faster and faster every second of every minute of every hour of every day with a founder's mentality than me. That's always been my approach, but doing everything is not realistic. And most of what people may think is important is miscalculated. Do I strike you as a person that knows what needs to be done and decides not to do it? Or perhaps what one thinks needs to be done is not the right priority? That's not to say we are moving at the pace we want, we never will. We make mistakes in execution that cause delays, so learning fast is critical. And we are not always as fast as we want on everything we do, but sometimes being fast out of the gate can cause one to be much slower, which is the case in a couple of things, only to be able to move 5x faster in the future. Speed matters, and we will fail without being fast, but fast and wrong is also failure. A sustainable competitive advantage, he calls it SCA, is the critical success factor that all should be judged, and in this sector, sustainable competitive advantage is grossly misunderstood, and for that I could not be more grateful. You can be sure I will not correct those incorrect points of view, and I will never mention other companies in any regard. It's not who I am. We will focus on our strategy and priorities, and we will execute and deliver just like we have for the last 7 years. Is the world accelerating again? Yes, you bet it is, and we recognize that way before the last few months, so we are accelerating as well. It was lonely being one of few trying to change the world of finance through a challenging macro backdrop, regulatory winter, and the worst rate changes in our lifetime. But we uniquely deliver durable growth and constant innovation for 20 consecutive quarters. I welcome everyone to run faster, build better, and have bigger impact because it will cause a swell as it has in the past, and the biggest and best benefit the most, especially those with the best strategy, the best execution, and the fastest builder of competitive sustainable advantage, which is different than just making announcements or just shipping. We learned this in 2019 and fixed it in 2020. I couldn't be more confident in our strategy and the sustainable competitive advantage we have and others do not. And that will continue to build CSA faster than anyone else. We know what we need to do and we are fully committed to doing it. Who dares wins. Fresh horses. And I mean, especially that last part here is important to me. I couldn't be more confident in our strategy and the sustainable competitive advantage we have and others do not. And that will continue to build CSA faster than anyone else. We know what we need to do and we are fully committed to doing it. And so I get it, right? Retail needs instant gratification. By the way, this is my post. Retail needs instant gratification, but that's not how Noto and the team roll. They don't think one quarter at a time or one event at a time. They're thinking big. And if thinking big means that in the short term we have a quiet period, so be it. Stop complaining about crypto and level 1 options and start looking at the big picture. Top 10 financial institution in the United States of America. I'm still very long SoFi and will continue to be very long SoFi until management proves me wrong. And that's the thing here. They gave me no reasons to doubt them, right? On the contrary, they gave me even more reasons to trust them in the long term. Yes, okay, the tech platform has been slower than expected. They gave us the explanation why. They also told us that in 2026, things are going to accelerate, right? Based on the deals that we have seen in the last couple of quarters. But in the meantime, we have something else, the loan platform business, a fast-growing, high-margin business. So why are we always complaining? Of course, because, well, people like to complain and they always like to chase views, impressions, and whatnot by tweeting out BS about a certain stock, a certain company, and having, well, high expectations that don't make any sense. So I want to talk about something else, and that goes back to that SoFi versus Robinhood thing. SoFi is making $0 of crypto per quarter. Robinhood is making $400 million of crypto per quarter. Not that hard for Robinhood to innovate 5x faster with all the extra revenue and profits from a BTC. Let's even the playing field, get SoFi crypto approval by Q2. Then he says here, get it done to Anthony Noto, etc., etc. Well, when I read this, I was like, actually, I don't think that Robinhood is making $400 million of crypto per quarter, and Robinhood is also not growing 5 times faster with all that revenue. And I'll show you exactly why. So if we go and look at Robinhood and what has happened last quarter, as you can see, last quarter was an outlier. Why is that? Because only last quarter, Q4 for Robinhood, did they generate $358 million. So no, one, that's not $400 million, but okay, fine. Let's say it was $400 million. Where exactly do we see here that they generate every quarter $400 million from crypto? Nowhere, okay? Nowhere to be seen. 2 quarters ago, 61 million. quarter before that, 81 million, quarter before that, 126 million, then 43, and then I can't even see because that's how little revenue they generated from crypto. So can we stop with this whole crypto BS thing? Okay, Robinhood, the gambling trading platform out there, right? The go-to for retail, barely generated revenue from crypto. So now we want to accuse SoFi of being behind because they don't have crypto? Give me a break, okay? Give me a break. Another thing, if we zoom out a little bit here, yes, I am getting a bit more aggressive here. If we zoom out a little bit, we look at total revenue growth for SoFi and Robinhood. As you can see, huge bull markets, that's when Robinhood does very well and revenue goes up quite drastically. But what happens in bear markets? Well, not so good. But let's look at SoFi. What has happened with SoFi? Bull or bear markets? Oh, interesting. Steady growth no matter what. And to say that, oh, they generate way more revenue, so they're growing 5 times faster. Where exactly are they growing 5 times faster exactly? Even in 2024, even with that huge quarter that Robinhood had, the difference in revenue is only $300 million. And that's basically from that last quarter of 300 and something million from crypto. But that's about it. So I'm sorry, no. So can we stop with these lies and nonsense expectations about crypto and Robinhood and SoFi? It makes zero sense. And lastly, I want to add this, going back to the loan platform, tech platform type of thing. Tech platform, as we know, has been growing very, very slow, right? This is contribution profit, hasn't really moved much. But the loan platform business, which is under the financial services one, well, look at financial services. Look at that huge growth. Basically, before was a zero when it came to contribution profit. But look at that growth. Look at this go up and up and up at a rapid pace. So please, focus on the important things. Also focus on the future. Don't focus on short-term things, short-term events where, oh, look at this fancy gold card or look at this fancy cash Uber, whatever. Yes, I'm talking about the Robinhood event. And you know me, I'm still pretty bullish on Robinhood, but let's face it. One company wants to get your money right, while the other wants to get your money. So the difference. And so maybe to go back to the first sentence I said in this video, the joke, the I cannot stay quiet about SoFi anymore. To be honest, it's a bit true because I've seen some people in the retail community here that just make, well, ridiculous claims about SoFi, ridiculous comparisons as well that just don't make any sense and will only hurt the retail investor because the retail investor, not all, but some will always believe these things because, oh, we needed to be at 30 already. We needed to be here. No. To end on a cheesy note here, Rome wasn't built in a day. Becoming a top 10 financial institution in the United States will not happen in a day either and will definitely not happen because you added crypto or options level 1 or something like that. Sorry to say. It will happen if you have a great leadership, if you have good execution, a good team, and a long-term vision. With that, thank you very much, and I see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.